It's a good kick. It is a great kick. It's one for the ages. That really makes a big statement. Dangerous. Hill. So the Hawks are so close now. An 11th premiership. They've done it.
Having tasted defeat at the final hurdle in 2012, Hawthorn got the job done last season, this time leaving Fremantle with the bitter taste of defeat. But the Dockers wouldn't have too long to dwell on it. Hello and welcome to the Toyota AFL Preseason Special. While the two grand finalists traded blows on the biggest stage of all, the 16 other clubs had turned their attention to the 2014 season. A rigorous pre-season training regime was undertaken, with each side looking to right the wrongs of their 2013 campaigns. While all sides pushed their bodies to the limit, there was also plenty happening off-field to capture the interest of football fans. The coaching merry-go-round was alive and well, with 6 clubs installing new coaches to lead them into new campaigns. Essendon's supplement scandal dominated last season, and James Hird became a casualty, suspended for 12 months and replaced by another favourite son in Mark Thompson. Paul Roux shocked everyone, taking charge of an embattled Melbourne side.
I want to set the direction for the club. I don't necessarily, I'd love to hold another cup up, but for me it's about setting these guys apart.
After 12 years in charge of the West Coast Eagles, John Worsfold left of his own accord, replaced by Hawthorn assistant Adam Simpson. St Kilda's Scott Watters and Brisbane's Michael Voss weren't afforded the same luxury. They were given their marching orders and replaced by Alan Richardson and Justin Lepich respectively. While at Greater Western Sydney, Kevin Sheedy left the coaching box for the final time, his understudy Leon Cameron now the #1 man. After a year of speculation, Lance Franklin surprised everyone, defecting to Sydney.
4-time All-Australian, dual Coleman medalist, 2-time premiership player, so to have him keen to come to this football club is fantastic for the club, fantastic for our players, and we're really looking forward to Lance helping us be a competitive team on the football field.
Oh, what an exciting time it is for the footy club of Sydney Swans. Looking forward to playing some good football up here, and can't wait for the next season.
It's a season of new beginnings in more ways than one, and as we cast our eye back on the moments that made last season, 2014 has plenty to live up to.
A McNally at the very last gasp, and he's put it through. Eagles win. A remarkable game of football.
Comes in. It's on its way. It's there. The miracle on grass. Here's Ablett from the pocket, high ball. Don't tell me. Yes. Goodness gracious me. Goodness gracious me. That is an unbelievable goal from Ablett. Mitchell and Hodge does the shepherding. Mitchell tried to size it all up. Oh, he got it just right. It's coming. What a shape, what a kick. What a start, Travis Clough. That's the best touch he's had all quarter. Big play here, Stratton run down, but okay. Franklin with a hurdle, and then the long one. This will be something. It is. It's an MCG special.
Big grab from behind.
Now Hanley on the fly, takes on Taylor Hyde. We know he can kick them from all angles, and he shows it again, the Irishman.
That could be the mark of the year.
Ready for Jeremy. We know how he does it.
And Shaw, amazing.
Kennedy. Well, this may hurt them late. Hodge just steals it from Griffin. The long from the skipper. The smother and the intercept, and then the finish.
No, Jack. Is Jack trying to say he was pushed into that?
Kicks to full forward. Anything can happen here. Here we go. There's a goal. Can you believe it?
And Matt Jack Doyle, the target. Oh, baby! No way! First shot a goal. And let's hope the first of many.
Doyle versus Natanuke. We want to know who can jump the highest out of these two.
The Sudanese boy wins it.
Goals coming in this corner for the Bombers in a huge comeback against the West Coast Eagles.
Oh, get it again. Gray inside Cheney. Dances, slides, does everything as well as goal.
Campbell the flick down. Oh, Jan Syracuse! Have you ever seen better than that?
Maybe it's Fremantle's day. Walters is on. Hill keeps going. This to send them into a home preliminary final for the first time in their history.
Get the horse for the curse. They've won. Hawthorn have won.
Gee, it's a good kick. It is a great kick. It's one for the ages. That really makes a big statement. So the Hawks are so close now. They've done it. The best team all year.
We are a very happy team at Hawthorn. Thank you.
While we look forward to the season ahead, 2013 was the last for a number of our favourite Suns. While these players called time on their careers, 35 players would continue theirs at new clubs. There were the usual cat and mouse games during 3 weeks of negotiations, but most rumours came to fruition by the end. Lance Franklin was the headline act, but other big-name moves saw Dale Thomas join former coach Mick Malthouse at the Blues. Essendon forward Stuart Cramery became a Bulldog. North Melbourne snared St Kilda veteran Nick Dal Santo. Sydney's Shane Mumford crossed the bridge to join the Giants. While Carlton livewire Eddie Betts now calls Adelaide Oval home. In other player moves, former Saint Ben McAvoy has joined Hawthorn, former Magpie Heath Shaw to the Giants, and Paul Chapman has moved from Geelong to Essendon. Jesse White is now a Magpie. Former Hawk Shane Savage has joined the Saints, as has former Brisbane Lion Billy Longer. As part part of the lead-up to the national draft, 120 of the most talented young athletes from across the country were put through a series of tests as part of the AFL Draft Combine.
This really is the pinnacle and the last real point of, football contact for us boys before the draft. So it's really exciting times, as I said earlier. And yeah, look, all us boys are looking to impress this week, and as we have all year, and exciting times coming up for us.
Undergoing physical and mental testing, AFL recruiters gained the biggest insight into the athlete's strengths and weaknesses as a player, accompanying the football talent they've seen from throughout the year.
Another real good opportunity to interview players. Obviously, we've done a lot of interviews already, but it's re-interview and interview some we haven't. But obviously, the opportunities are also for the players to get out there. Skills component, but the physical testing. We've seen in years gone by, it's a real opportunity for players to elevate their position in the draft.
There's plenty at stake for those taking part, hoping they have the qualities that make them stand out from the pack. Team lists continued to take shape when the nation's top young athletes gathered on the Gold Coast for the national draft. Clubs leave no stone unturned as each looks to land the next superstar. After months of research and debate, it all comes down to this: a night where dreams are made and others broken.
Selection number 1, GWS Giants.
Player number 214227, Thomas Boyd, Eastern Rangers, Norwood Football Club.
Boyd adding more firepower to an exciting Greater Western Sydney list.
For the Greater Western Sydney Giants, Tom Boyd.
There's been a lot written, but, until we get here, our names read out, it's all kind of, hearsay and speculation. So, look, I'm just super excited to get started with the GWS Giants, who are obviously a budding and really exciting club. And, yeah, I'm just really humbled to be, picked before some of these guys who I respect so much and whose ability, in my opinion, probably supersedes my own in some regards. So, yeah, I'm just really excited.
Josh Kelly was the next name to be read out at number 2, also off to the Giants, while St Kilda, Western Bulldogs and Gold Coast fans have plenty to look forward to. Matthew Scharenberg was Collingwood's first pick, while father-son recruit Luke McDonald is off to the Kangaroos. And it was the last time all 10 would be together before each would begin his individual pursuit at a new AFL home. For a club that managed a total of just 3 wins over its first 2 years in the competition, expectations are on the rise for the Giants. They've added premiership experience during the off-season in Shane Mumford, Heath Shaw and Josh Hunt, put them alongside a class of exceptional young talent, notably All-Australian Jeremy Cameron, and there's genuine excitement surrounding the third-year club. The Giants had to wait until round 19 to get their first win of 2013, but new coach Leon Cameron will be confident of getting on the board far earlier in 2014.
I think the key for us to become more competitive in 2014, probably our third-year players. There's about 14 or 15 of the guys that had a terrific pre-season, and we expect them to make some significant inroads in terms of their performances. They've probably averaged about between 30 and 40 games, most of these players, so we look forward to seeing them take a significant step in their AFL careers.
The arrival of coach Paul Roos has breathed new life into the Demons as they attempt to build some momentum in 2014. A favourable draw early will help them as the team looks to build confidence in each other. They've addressed their lack of midfield depth, adding Bernie Vince, Daniel Cross and Dom Tyson. But the likes of Jack Watts, Jack Grimes and Jack Trengove will also need to stand up. With a forward line boasting targets in Chris Dawes, Mitch Clark, Jeremy Howe and youngster Jesse Hogan, it seems the only way is up for the D's.
We think we know where we want to go. We brought some new players in, which I think has really, really helped. They've come in thinking, well, I've got no baggage. I've come from Adelaide or I've come from the Bulldogs or Giants or whoever it was. So I think that's been the most important thing for the players, for us to continually reinforce. Well, what happened last year's happened, but it has no bearing on what we do going forward.
St Kilda resisted a rebuild at the start of 2013, but after the club's worst season since 2001, it had no alternative ahead of 2014. And new coach Alan Richardson has made some tough calls. Veterans Nick Dal Santo and Ben McAvoy have moved clubs, while Jason Blake, Justin Kajitsky and Stephen Milne all called it quits. But Saints fans can be encouraged by the club's recent list management, sensible trading and its drafting of a group of youngsters they hope can reverse its fortunes quickly. Western Bulldogs showed they were on the right track late last season. Brendan McCartney's men winning 4 of their last 6 games to give their supporters some hope. But 2014 still looms as another year of development for the Dogs. The likes of Ryan Griffin, Matthew Boyd and Adam Cooney will again lead the charge, but it's the progression of talented youngsters, Jordan Ruffhead, Jake Stringer and Jackson McRae, that will determine how far the Bulldogs step up in 2014. After making giant strides in 2013, the future looks bright for Gold Coast. Having won just 6 games in their first 2 seasons combined, the Suns leapt to 8 wins last year alone. Aside from Gary Ablett, who won his 2nd Brownlow medal, the Suns unearthed a raft of youngsters who look stars of the future, with Dion Prestia, Jager O'Meara and Tom Nichols all taking the next step. With greater performance comes greater expectation, and Guy McKenna's men can expect to be under more scrutiny this season. But this Suns outfit is young, hungry, and it seems the sky's the limit. History was made for the International Rules Series at the end of 2013, with Australia represented for the first time by an all-Indigenous team. They fell short by 22 points in the opening test and looked to square things up in the second test at Croke Park.
Just a couple of things that hold the ball rule when they spin us. Let's not panic. Plenty of pressure. We need every single body, every single one of you contributing.
The home team's mastery of the round ball was evident, and they leapt to a 19-point lead at quarter time. They stretched that out to 37 points at halftime, forcing some soul-searching from the tourists.
We've got to dig deep, boys. We've got to dig deep. Otherwise, this could be a big margin by the end of the game. If we're not prepared to stand up and fight, what's going on, not put up with this, what's being served up at the moment, we get a couple of boys joining in, we'll be all right. We're still in this, because when we get the ball forward, we are dangerous. We are dangerous.
Stretchy, you got one behind you, Good work, buddy. Hey, you're trying hard, keep trying hard. Get that decision making right, all right? That's all. Yours, Tommy, yours, Tom.
Ireland's performance was simply superb, going on to record a 79-point margin. The Irish have now won the past 2 series, with the Australians' last win coming in their previous tour of Ireland in 2010. While the Irish fans celebrated the win, Aussie fans were left to rue what could have been.
It's a good chance, so thanks to the players, to the management team.
2014 is fuelled by a desire to ensure there is no repeat performance by Australia this time around.
It's probably one of the most disappointing moments I've had. But you know what, you stand up and you face the music. If you're just, mate, I might need to, boys might have to make me a cup of tea later on and calm me down a bit.
It was a new look pre-season competition in 2014, with the NAB Challenge seeing 18 games in 18 days played all around Australia. Each club played 2 matches in preparation for the season ahead. Geelong hosted Collingwood to kick off proceedings, and despite both sides trialling a number of new players, the standard was high for a first hit-out.
Brilliant. Split the middle, took off did Burberry and nailed it.
In a seesawing battle which saw 3 lead changes in the final quarter, it was the Cats who prevailed by 2 points.
Umpire foot tosses it in the air. Grundy palms it down. Guthrie at full stretch. Johnson, this is for 9. Well, it's not really. He bounces it inside 50. Schroeder, the super sub. Cats back in front.
New Magpies recruit Jesse White booting 5 goals.
Jesse White turns, kicks, bounces, goals. What a debut by Jesse White.
While Tom Hawkins added 4 in encouraging signs for the Victors. There was nothing pre-season about Hawthorn's demolition of an inexperienced Brisbane outfit.
Talking about the handball, there it is on display for the Hawks. Shields, uncertain what to do. In the end, he decided to lay it off, and the kick came in from Simpkin, and it fell beautifully for Gunston.
The Hawks' quest for back-to-back flags is right on track, with some familiar faces setting up the 131-point victory.
Opportunity for Roughhead here. And he's done well to get it to his own advantage onto the left boot. Kept Burke guessing and puts it through. The Hawks lead by 105.
A new-look Melbourne side faced Richmond on day 3, and early on, the signs were there that Paul Roos had already made an impact.
Good chance here for Bale. Spins it around the body and splendid. Back to a 4-point margin.
The Tigers kept the Demons at bay, and at the final change had their noses in front. But an inspired final term, sparked by new recruit Jay Kennedy Harris, saw the Demons home, giving fans a glimmer of hope for the season ahead.
Kennedy Harris. Gee, sharp. There's a live wire.
Carlton and North Melbourne travelled to Ballarat for their matchup, and it was the Blues who started the better.
Spills to Everett. Everett into an open goal. And this is a bright start by both teams.
Some fresher faces showing the way.
Everett.
Andreas Everett. Looks like he can play.
He can certainly kick the ball a long way. The distance won't be an issue.
The Kangaroos rallied in the third term.
Del Santo is right on the 50. Gets plenty on it and sees Harvey. Magnificent kick from Del Santo. It's a timely spot to be in, Harvey. It's a timely goal to kick right on 3/4 time.
But the Blues did enough to hold on by 7 points. Sydney recruit Andreas Everett starring in his new colours.
It's good to get out, a bit nervy at the start as you are in the new club, but good to get the hit out, and yeah, the boys done pretty well.
Despite being pre-season, there's still always plenty at stake in the Adelaide showdown, and new Crow Eddie Betts, playing his first, showed he'd be a handful.
Joined the Crows on a 4-year deal as a free agent, and so far, so good for Eddie Betts.
With both sides missing key players, it was all Adelaide in the opening 3 quarters.
So from inside attacking 59 ahead of him, he gives it off to Jenkins, who can run into an open goal. Fantastic rebound play, the Adelaide Crows.
Port Adelaide outscored its opponent in the final term, but it would be a comfortable 60-point win for the Crows. Gold Coast hosted Essendon on a greasy night, but it was the visitors who looked the better early.
Swinging ball.
That is.
Oh, he'll play forward for the rest of his life if he kicks him like that, Carlisle.
Joe Danaher giving Bombers fans plenty to be excited about.
To Danaher, you can hear the Bomber fans live. They love what they see early from Joe Danaher.
The Suns remained within striking distance at the final break.
Top of the square, Lynch brings it down, and another brought down. Hall gets the handball to Sam Day, and that'll help the Gold Coast cause.
Scores were level in the final moments as Gary Ablett snatched an unlikely victory with the final kick of the night.
Ablett, have a shot getter. He does, and you know what? He has kicked a point. It's a winner. It's a win. It's a winner.
Did the siren go?
The West Coast Fremantle Western Derby is another high-profile fixture on the calendar. But after contrasting seasons in 2013, it was the Eagles who bounced out the better.
For about 75 out, he's gone all the way home with ease. Who else?
A 46-point lead at the first break continued to grow as the match progressed, in what was an ominous warning to other sides. The Eagles' new faces had an influence as they raced to an 84-point win.
And Elliot Yeo kicks his first as an Eagle.
The following day, conditions were a little different on the other side of the country for the St Kilda Western Bulldogs clash in Geelong. When play did get underway, it was the Bulldogs who'd have the early ascendancy.
It's a quick kick off the ground, a smart kick off the ground, and Hunter, he's shown already as a clever player.
The Saints rallied in the second term to have the game back on an even playing field.
Yes, Cleveland Latanya with a big shot at goal. He eyed it off, he eyed it up, and he's kicked the ripper. That's great.
Setting up a tight finish in trying conditions, it was the Bulldogs who'd hold firm to run out 11-point winners. The rivalry in Sydney is fast gathering momentum, and the Giants and Swans squared off in Canberra for their first hit out of 2014. It was the Swans who draw first blood.
Towers in some space and he likes his opportunity here. Runs inside 50, got great acceleration, runs to 40, first score of the night, and it's a terrific goal, his first.
A mixture of the old and the new, keeping the Giants at bay in the first half.
Well taken by Rowan. Great hand. And it was good hands, and the kick comes off and he kicks the goal.
There were some encouraging signs for GWS.
Whitfield, #1 draft pick, #1 goal for 2014, lucky Whitfield.
Jeremy Cameron picking up where he left off last season.
Oh, courage, and it was there.
But in the end, the class of Sydney proved the difference. A comfortable 40-point win to kick off their 2014 campaign.
Keeping his feet is Cunningham and makes it look easy.
Hawthorn showed it meant business in its first outing, and its form continued in the early stages of its second against North Melbourne.
And Langford brilliantly summed up and puts it through.
With the Hawks missing several key backs, the Kangaroos failed to capitalise, and the reigning premiers extended their advantage.
Pick 28 of the 2012 draft. So learned his lesson from before, he has.
North Melbourne forward Aaron Black, one of a few shining lights for the Kangaroos, will need to find some form ahead of round one.
Driving kick, they're outnumbered, but it falls for Black. Nothing can stop them now from adding his own second and his team's own second goal.
Hawthorn continuing its fine pre-season form with a 65-point victory. Collingwood and Richmond draw a crowd wherever they go, and it was no exception in the Victorian country town of Wangaratta. The Magpies struck first, but it was the Tigers who'd have all the early running.
Kick smothered, Delenio rolls it home.
The two sides traded blows in the second quarter, with reformed backman Ben Reid showing he'd be quite a handful up forward this season.
To Reid again. Good, strong hands. 4-goal afternoon for Ben Reid, although it's fair to say he should know where they are here. He's actually from this ground.
But Reid played a lone hand as the Tigers' midfield elite got on top.
Said a number of times, Trent Cotchin last year only kicked 6 goals for the season, and yet this afternoon he's kicked 3.
A 48-point win giving the Richmond faithful a glimpse of what the Tigers are capable of in 2014.
The Richmond fans here certainly got their money's worth here at Wangaratta.
After being thrashed in the opening challenge game, Brisbane was keen to atone against fellow Queensland co-tenant Gold Coast Suns.
Here's McGuan with his first kick for the day, his first goal for the day. So the former Tiger gets the first goal.
New recruit Luke McGuan providing the Lions with another weapon up forward.
Two magnificent finishes from McGuan. 3 goals the Lions.
An undermanned Suns outfit made some inroads into the deficit.
Harley Bennell wants to kick a goal. He'll straighten up, kick his second, and the Suns are coming back here at Townsville.
But a Dane Zorko special late in the final term maintained the Lions' healthy advantage. They'd go on to record a 47-point win, giving new coach Justin Lepich his first victory in charge. For the first time since 2002, West Coast enters the season under a new coach. Former Hawthorn assistant Adam Simpson takes the reins from John Worsfold following the Eagles' ill-fated 2013 campaign. Having started last season as one of the premiership fancies, the Eagles failed to live up to the expectation, not helped by a string of injuries to key players. But they enter the new season with a clean bill of health, and with the recruitment of Hawthorn premiership player Xavier Ellis and youngster Elliot Yeo from Brisbane, the Eagles have the finals in their sight. It's a season of new beginnings for Brisbane, with a new coach, new board and a host of new players after active trade and draft periods. 10 victories in each of the past 2 seasons showed enough to suggest there's enough talent to return to the top 8. But turmoil in the playing ranks saw 5 players under the age of 21 leave, citing homesickness. A fresh batch have been brought in, and with established stars Rockcliffe, Leuenberger, Rich and Hanley leading from the front, the Lions could surprise a few. After a disappointing 2013 season, Adelaide's prospects are looking up for the season ahead. Taylor Walker, Brent Riley and Josh Jenkins had their seasons cut short last year, but all are expected to feature in 2014. With the continued development from the likes of Brad Crouch, Luke Brown and Rory Laird, there's plenty to like out at West Lakes. The arrivals of Eddie Betts and James Podsiadly will strengthen Adelaide's attack as they look to return to the lofty heights of 2012 when they played off in a preliminary final. And having experienced the disappointment of 2013, expect a fired-up Adelaide this season. The football world has shared the Kangaroos' patience through the tough times in recent years, but there is a growing sense North Melbourne will be a contender in 2014. They dropped 10 games by 16 points or less in 2013, 5 of them by 4 points or less. The emergence of Lachlan Hansen, Todd Goldstein, Jack Zeeble and Ben Cunnington has helped them get to the next level. Their campaign has been bolstered by former St Nick Del Santo, who adds class and poise to the midfield. These changes give the Roos a solid platform to live up to growing expectations. Essendon remains one of the more intriguing clubs in 2014 as it aims to move on from last year and continue its push for success. Mark Thompson is in charge of his former club, and the Bombers are determined to make inroads as an emerging premiership contender. The midfield has improved markedly in the past 2 years, with more support being given to captain Joe Watson. Paul Chapman's move from Geelong adds depth to a side, boasting prodigious talent in Michael Hurley, Jake Carlisle and Joe Danaher. With round 1 within sight, the pre-season challenge entered its 3rd week with Carlton hosting Adelaide. Both sides had first-up victories, and they continued that good form in the early stages.
Podsiadly full forward for the Crows, and here he is, one-on-one with Jamison. How's that for a start? And that's the kind of thing you can do. Take a mark, kick a goal, get you off to a perfect start.
Carlton had some big names returning, including prized recruit Dale Thomas, and they took the early advantage.
And away goes Dozy. Look to him to lay it off, and this opens it up nicely now. Still a chance here, the 1-2 to Everett works from Cameron Wood. Casboss now got 2 to beat though, and almost beats them both. Does beat them both. Fourth season with the club, Levi Casbolt. Maybe it could be his time.
The two sides traded blows in the second term, and it was a familiar face who'd maintained Carlton's advantage at the main break.
He hands it off Garlick, put it in the book, no one ahead of him, can have another bounce. And look at his lead by 8.
The Crows' fitness was a feature, and Adelaide remained within striking distance at the final change.
There's only space ahead. He's got Dangerfield in a one-on-one with Jamison. You'd think that's the direction. He goes to Ellis Yeoman instead. Uses some speed, caught. Hands it back to Martin.
Well done, Rutten.
To Rutten, who drifts down. Oh, he thought about playing on. It's his first game in 2014. Didn't play in the Now Challenge round 1. Never in doubt from the truck.
But from here on, it was all Adelaide, running in 6 goals to 1, including a Dangerfield super goal to run out 38-point victors.
All pleasure to Dangerfield. He's in 9-point range. Heads long and bounces it through. Super goal from the boot of Patrick Dangerfield.
The following night, Essendon hoped to grab its first pre-season win when it hosted Port Adelaide. The Bombers began the better, and if not for inaccuracy, could have been further in front.
He's going to work it inside, get himself aligned with the goals, and unfortunately, another miss.
Yeah, another banana.
A late flurry from the power brought them back into the contest, Justin Westhoff making his presence felt.
Ball set up to full forward, Shilton, Butcher, Westhoff. The third man up over the top.
Oh, that's nearly another one.
Both sides traded goals in the third term to set up a tight finish. Two of the team's young guns showing their potential.
Stretches out Pike, will he go? He probably wishes he didn't now. Has to turn to the full 360 and then line it up. And he's nailed the kick.
He's a weapon. I think they're starting to rub their hands together, Port.
But in the final term, the power pulled away. 3 goals to 1, sealing a 25-point victory.
It's a bit of show pony stuff at the end. There you go.
And he has. There's one just to leave something for the Bomber fans.
Western Bulldogs hosted a near full-strength Fremantle outfit at Etihad Stadium, and the Dockers' clean ball movement was a feature in the early stages.
Here's the dangerous Sonny Walters. Spins around, that's how dangerous he is. He doesn't waste it. Pierce over the top, handball to Mzungu. First goal of the night. Great work from the Fremantle Dockers.
The Bulldogs rallied in the second term and threatened to take the game away from their opponents. Their forward pressure, a real strength.
Cooney, sorry Wayne, awesome play by Cooney. It started with another brilliant tackle inside their 450, but that's the Cooney of old.
Fremantle gained the ascendancy back, and a tiring Bulldogs couldn't go with them. The Dockers controlled the game from here on in, running out 28-point winners.
Straight down the guts this time.
Got Main one-on-one.
Yeah, here they go. Kick out wide.
Oh, perfect bounce.
Sheridan. Going to need a big chase from McRae. He's around him once and twice. And then a high ball in, hoping for Pavlich. At the back, Walters for 4. Coast to coast, they've done it again.
West Coast and Sydney share one of the great recent rivalries, but for Swans fans it was all about the future as boom recruit Lance Franklin took to the field for the first time in Blacktown. Wet and slippery conditions made life tough for both sides, and just 1 point would separate them at the first change.
Brandon Jack, speed, and this is Dean Towers, another player yet to play a home and away game who could have a big 2014.
Franklin got his hands on the ball early in the second term.
This is your new recruit. He looks in good nick.
I think he's worked on his technique a bit. I don't think that's enough.
But majors were hard to come by, and both sides added just 1 each in the second quarter.
Good attack from Reid. Turns and kicks. Gee, not a bad hit. He's put it through.
The Eagles opened up the game in the third term, rattling in 6 goals for to no score to set up a match-winning advantage.
Willingham got it from Marston. Gee, that's a splendid kick. Oh, that's the goal of the NAB Cup.
They kept the Swans at bay in the final term for a 35-point win and perfect record ahead of the regular season.
Callum Sinclair lining up, went to town on his last shot, worked out what the wind was doing and drills it.
Geelong and Melbourne headed for Alice Springs for their second clash, and it was the Cats who'd break cleanly out of the blocks and take a 23-point lead into the first break.
Vince is surrounded by Cats. 1, 2, 3. The third was Hawkins. He gave it to Brown. Somehow it's still going for Caddy, and Caddy finishes off with a goal.
The Demons looked headed for a big loss, but to their credit, unlike in previous years, they fought back with purpose and actually led by a point late in the second term.
This will take one heck of a kick.
They're still looking inside.
Good decision.
Rowan Bale. That's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Still a tough kick. On the reverse. Let's see what he can do. So start at the right post. And hold.
Good kick.
Beautiful kick. And Melbourne have hit the front.
Amazing. Clear in front.
But the Cats' class eventually told as they rattled off 4 goals in 6 minutes in the third term to grab the upper hand.
Jones. Nice diving handball back to Matt Jones. Whoops. Whoops.
That's
probably the fourth one in that area of the ground.
Good run up. Runs inside 50. All clear, 6 points for Jimmy.
They wouldn't be headed and ran out 13-point winners. New South Wales country town Wagga Wagga hosted St Kilda and Greater Western Sydney in the last of the Challenge Games. Just 1 point separated the two sides at the first change in an open game of footy.
Look at the strength and skill and smarts.
Still get through.
Jeremy Cameron, he's put it through to give them the lead on quarter time.
But the Giants showed their enormous potential in the second term, piling on 8 goals to 1, including 5 9-point super goals.
Heath Shaw finds Hoskin Elliott adrift on the wing, changes the angle. Deep pattern, he's seen where it's going, and he's trying to get there first. It's another massive blow. That's a huge kick.
There would be no way back for the hapless Saints. The 58-point half-time deficit extended to 68 points by the final siren.
Shields going for another 9. This is for his third of the day, and he collects again. 3 bags of balls.
The Magpies are going through a period of change under coach Nathan Buckley, but there's always expectation about their chances. They lost a raft of experienced players in the off-season, but a number of the club's younger players showed they were up to the task. Pendlebury, Swan and Beams will again lead the midfield, which will also see 19-year-old Brodie Grundy shoulder most of the ruck work. Sydney recruit Jesse White will provide a solid backup option for Travis Cloke. The Magpies are very much a mystery team, given the departure of an abundance of premiership stars, but there's also a certain excitement surrounding the club. As ever, optimism abounds at Punt Road, and there is good reason after the Tigers made the finals last season. After breaking through to September for the first time since 2001, Richmond is seeking to consolidate on what it has achieved. The arrival of Carlton ruckman Sean Hampson enables them to manage the game time of Ivan Maric. While continued improvement from the likes of Reece Conker and Brandon Ellis should have the Tigers pushing for finals again. It's a big year for the Tigers as they take another step towards their first premiership since 1980. Carlton enters this year full of hope and confidence after a strong finish to 2013 that saw them sneak into the finals. The recruitment of Dale Thomas was a coup for the Blues, and the former Collingwood star will provide an extra weapon for Mick Malthouse to complement the work of Mark Murphy, Bryce Gibbs and star veteran Chris Judd in the midfield. In the club's 150th year, it's an important season on and off the field for the Blues, and a top 6 finish would be the bare minimum expected for a pass mark. Port Adelaide's talented young list made giant strides in 2013, and the challenge ahead is to go further this season. But the Power will no longer take opposition sides by surprise and make the switch from hunter to hunted as they seek to play in a second successive final series. All Australians Travis Boak and Chad Wingard will again lead the way, but will be ably supported by youngsters Ollie Wines, Hamish Hartlett and Brad Ebert. Veterans Kane Corns, Dom Cassisi and Jay Schulz will also play key roles in a side that showed they'll be tough to beat this season. They've finished in the top 4 and won a premiership in the past 2 seasons, and the Sydney Swans have every intention of being up there again this year. Lance Franklin's move north gives coach John Longmire an embarrassment of riches up forward, and he might find it tough to fit Kurt Tippett, Sam Reid and Adam Goods all into his lineup. A star-studded midfield of Hannebery, Jack and McVeigh lifted themselves into All-Australian status last season, and it would be a brave person not to have the Swans in their calculations in 2014. Geelong fell just 5 points short of a berth in last year's grand final and has qualified for the past 7 final series. But with Joel Corey, Paul Chapman, Josh Hunt and James Podsiadly moving on, they'll be far more reliant on youngsters taking the next step this season. The fitness of spearhead Tom Hawkins will be a key to success, as will the continued development from the likes of Stephen Motlop, Mitch Duncan and Josh Caddy. They've become the masters of regeneration, and Chris Scott will be as determined as ever to remain in premiership contention. The burden of expectation is the biggest challenge facing Fremantle in 2014. It's never started a premiership campaign as one of the favourites, but this season it's expected to be there again in September. And after missing large chunks of games in 2013 through injury, Aaron Sandilands, Matthew Pavlich and Luke McFarlane have trained without interruption this pre-season. Mature players in Colin Sylvia and Scott Gumbleton have been added to the mix as they look to go one better in season 2014. They face a brutal draw to begin with, but if they make it through unscathed, they'll be well placed to finish in the top 4 once again. So far, so good for Hawthorn as it rounds out preparations for a premiership defence. The quest for flag number 12 starts with a fit and healthy playing squad, including defenders Matthew Suckling and Ryan Schoenmakers, who are on track for the season opener. Brent Guerra and Max Bailey have called time on their careers, but the recruitment of Ben McAvoy provides a ready-made replacement in the ruck division. After winning the flag in 2008, the Hawks missed the finals the following year. Their approach to 2014 fuelled by a desire to ensure there is no repeat performance this time around. So with the final touches put on an arduous pre-season, all 18 clubs have set themselves for the race to September. The fans can't wait for the action to start, and there are plenty of big games to look forward to.
Kurt Tippett takes the mark. Who kicks the opening goal?
Close quarters to Watson, who emerges with a football. Oh, what a finish!
Through the middle of Berman, finds Franklin, takes his speed. He's well within range. But he breaks the drought.
those two, they even up the score.
Ball can't find the handle. Now he does. He goes to Thomas. And the danger man, Thomas, gets the goal of the afternoon.
A split round opens the regular season, and it's last year's grand finalist Fremantle taking on Collingwood. The GWS Sydney rivalry continues, while Richmond faces its bogey side Gold Coast. In the second week, Adelaide travels to Geelong, and Hawthorn kicks off its premiership defence against Brisbane. Join us next time for all the action in 2014.